This episode contains sensitive topics. Discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Take a seat. Our waitress will be right around with you to serve you. Today with me, as always, is Alt.
Hello.
And Minka.
Hello.
And today we have a special guest, an artist who goes by the name RoboGogoRobo. At least that's what his Twitter says. Robo, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm RoboGogoRobo, pronouns he, him. I mostly do size-related kinks, especially in comic form. They generally cover expansions of breasts, butts, lips, penis, vulva, and the like. And yeah, that's what I do.
So, Robo, my first question is, how long have you been doing art? Because I feel like I've followed you, I've seen your stuff on the internet for what feels like forever. But that might not be true because my memory sucks.
Oh yeah, it's generally forever. Like I've been like off and on around, kind of like a cryptid, showing up sometimes and disappearing.
So how far back would you say you started like posting generally on the internet?
Probably around 2004-ish is when I started like really getting into serious stuff. Like that was like after college days.
Okay, so it has been a little while. I was gonna say I feel like I found you back when I was in high school, and that was like late 2000s.
That's like early internet days.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, we're all old. Thank you, Minka.
I'm older than both of you. Shut up.
Yes, and you remind me that the climb is starting rapidly.
And it doesn't stop.
Yeah, I know. It fucking sucks.
It doesn't have to be so bad.
So, Robo, I've always been meaning to ask you, like, I feel like I see your stuff everywhere, and in my brain, when I think of, like, bimbos, I think your stuff for some reason. Is that a me thing, or is that, like, an all of your audience type of stuff?
I'm actually not sure about that either. Generally, I'm ignorant as far as like how like popular or not popular I am, so I don't really know how far my reach is. Generally, I just sort of draw things that kind of appeal to like how I want to see it and how I want to stylize it.
I mean, that makes sense.
That probably does really good things for your mental health, I would imagine. Not constantly worrying about followers and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, I'm definitely worried about that too, but can't really control it.
Yeah.
However, I just feel like if a lot of things can be like erotic if you get into the mindset. So I try to figure out ways that it appeals to me, and like ways that I can see it to maybe go, ooh, that's kind of cool.
Do you know, that is one of the reasons I've thought about trying to get into drawing multiple times, is it's just like, oh, then I can draw out the porn that I want.
And to be honest, actually, that's what got me into like drawing in general, is because I had a whole lot of, ideas and a lot of vivid dreams that I wanted to translate into something tangible. But I couldn't draw, so I essentially just kind of forced myself to draw and see how that worked out.
Seem to be doing pretty well.
It's always a learning process.
So, like, what's the first thing you drew that you went, yeah, I can do this. I believe in myself.
Oh, I don't know. It's because a lot of kink art, like it's been like, really shameful, especially like in the early 2000s and all that kind of stuff. Like growing up in the 90s, couldn't draw that stuff, so all of it had to be like super secret. You had to keep it way down, and like drawing that stuff can end your art career. Yeah. Which is why I have to like, that's also why I'm more like a cryptid too. I just have to hide this stuff from the industry or whatever in order to get a job in it. Although I think that that mentality is definitely changing, though.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I just need to unwrite that mentality from my mind too, and to truly thrive. However, like, yeah, I feel like I've done a lot better, like drawing the erotic stuff, and I've actually learned a lot more, like doing that. So, like my black and white pencil thing, I call the secret comics, because like they were actually just secret, like nobody ever saw them, and I just started sharing them. So that's actually how I got a lot of practice, just kind of drawing things for myself and never showing anybody.
I dig that. That makes sense. Like, because especially when you're starting out, a lot of times you're going to be really self-conscious. So it's just like, these are for me while I work on getting to a point where I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, and early days of the internet, like you weren't really sure what people like, because previous to that we never had the reach, so I have all these like thoughts and ideas, and never knew if anybody would want to see them. So you just gotta kind of build a community.
We'll get there one day. We'll build something
and see what comes out.
We just gotta start talking to people like Robo more often.
I would enjoy that. That'd be fun.
I do hope it's a trend that continues, but it does seem like we are heading towards a more sexually liberated world, at least in some parts. Obviously, there's a lot of places that are still pretty far behind, but I'm ready for that cyberpunk type world where it's just like, nobody cares anymore. It's on ads, it's all in your face, it's everywhere.
Oh, definitely.
Man, you think we're gonna live that long? I wish I had that optimism.
2077's not that far away. Not that I think we'll be at that level of technology by then, but maybe.
No, I don't see it. Listen, I just want to live long enough to get to Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, that might be 2077 then.
Hope for the best and just see where it goes.
So, Robo, how did you get into these expansion kinks? Because personally, I feel like I discovered it at a young age, but I feel like everybody who I talked to in this expansion community got into it in completely different ways and patterns.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a personal experience for everyone. For me, it actually started out in dreams. Like I have abnormally vivid dreams, and that's where a lot of my characters come from too. So I'm kind of blessed with that, and a lot of the scenarios actually did like appear in dreams, and yeah, I just wanted to share that with the world. Like I remember, it was actually extremely early on in life. Like I had like vagina expansion dreams. There was these like two princesses that had huge vulva that they were like taller than their bodies, and they had to have these like strange like brute men just like carrying them across the street. It was kind of weird. They had Victorian dresses, so they were like princesses, and like the people carrying them across the street were just like these like cartoon burglar guys. So it's really weird.
All right, that's pretty interesting.
I just know them as the princesses.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had, like, I have pretty vivid dreams and stuff, but sadly none of mine are super sexual. So it just something that like crazy and like specific is fascinating to me.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating to me too. That's also why I had to learn to draw it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like one of my characters, the fox girl Linda, she's a reoccurring character, along with the girl Celia, the brunette. She's probably one of the first ones I've dreamt about. That's reoccurring.
Okay.
Yeah, then I actually like learned their personalities from the dreams too. So, very good experiences.
Good.
Fucking jealous. Fucking jealous. My dreams are just black voids, and I'm like, all right, you've stared at black enough. Get up, go to work.
Yeah, I think the majority of people don't remember their dreams at all.
Hate it. I hate it so much.
So even if you do dream, you probably don't even remember it.
No.
So it's just, yeah, you just black out and then suddenly it's no longer black and it's the morning.
Like, the few I do remember, I'm like, why did my brain decide to go, yes, you will remember this? Like, what's wrong with me?
Although I think that's actually normal. It's abnormal to remember dreams.
Listen, I'm already in the 10% of the world that's left-handed, so give me all the weird stuff.
Wow, imagine
Just
being
pile on all the
left-handed.
weirdnesses.
I don't want to imagine being left-handed.
It's so easy.
I'm sure it is, but the reality is the world is not built for left-handed people.
Fucking racist.
Dang old handists.
Yeah, what he said. I like what I said better, though.
Dextrists.
I mean, I can do stuff with both. It's just writing is more comfortable in my left hand. And it's more legible.
To be fair, I actually do write right-handed like I'm writing left, like people write left-handed. So I've never technically
What does that even mean?
written the right way.
I was just going to say, what the fuck does that mean?
So instead of like the kind of holding the pencil and it pointing down at kind of the same angle, I hold it to the side and
Oh, you're one of
Right
those
that way.
vertical writers. You hold it like straight up and down to the paper, don't you?
no.
Wait, then what do you mean? I don't understand.
There's the way they teach you to hold the pencil
Yep.
in school. Kind of like a chopstick.
Okay.
And then the way I hold it is like when I go to write, the side of my hand is resting down on the paper. So like if I'm writing multiple lines, I'm usually smearing stuff. Whereas most people, when they write right-handed, like their hands up. And so when they're writing, like it's not smearing. It's kind of like left-handed people because a lot of times the way they write, it ends up like dragging across the letters too. It's weird. It's a thing they tried to change how I was doing it in 4th grade, and it didn't work. So
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, you just mostly mean you rest your hand on the paper when you're writing.
yeah, it's the way I hold the pencil and stuff.
Okay.
The fuck do you mean you smear your hand? What does that mean?
Like she puts her hand down on the paper and drags it across the paper, so even the lines above it get smeared.
Yeah,
How are you smearing anything?
I
graphite.
think I write like that too, though.
Okay. Yeah. Graphite smears. A lot of pens that are not like any sort of gel pen will smear.
You know what? I have to take that back. I've been typing most of my shit out since 3rd grade, so never mind.
I was gonna say we're the babies who have typed our whole life, so we don't know what pens or paper are.
Saving the trees out here, bitch.
Didn't have to write in cursive.
Right.
No, we had to do that. No, we had to do that.
Oh yeah, they showed us that in like 2nd grade, and then we're like, oh, also here's a computer that you'll be using for the rest of your life.
Nice.
You'll need to learn these skills and use them every day, forever. And I don't think I've written in cursive since, like, elementary school.
How do you sign your signature for anything?
Oh, it's a cursive first letter and then a scribble.
Oh,
It's
that's
just a
yeah. No, I
cursive
do
paw
the
print.
exact same thing.
Like,
Oh, now I feel wrong.
so you just like acted like you were better than me, and then you do the exact same thing.
I'm gonna have to go back to actually writing out the whole every individual letter. Can't have that.
Yep, too much in common with me.
Yeah, can't have that.
No, you're making us feel old.
Good. Listen, between my fucking workplace and my life, I'm like, I need to die or retire. Take your pick. I don't care which one it is. Just pick one.
And retirement's out of the options now.
Mm-hmm.
No. The fucking 64-year-old lady just retired at my job.
Yeah.
We had a whole ass party for her.
Yeah. The boomers. The boomers are the last ones that are going to like get to retire. Because they screwed it over for us.
So, to bring it back, our podcast back from whatever tangents we always go on, and bring it back to the sexual stuff. Robo, so you pretty much said, it's in my dreams, I don't see it yet, so I need to make it happen.
Yep.
That's a good way to lead life.
Oh, what?
It's a good way to lead life. Make things happen that you want to happen.
Yeah, try to make the world that you want to see.
That's a dangerous philosophy that can go extremely the other direction, too.
Hey.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, it works for some people. Robo just happens to want to make the world more sexual, and that's okay.
I'd prefer it I'd prefer it to see just like more eroticism than in media than like the usual violence and all that kind of stuff that we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to stop pretending that we're not sexual creatures.
I think that's where the harm comes in.
It's how a lot of religions control their people.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's why I kind of want to just bring, a little bit more joy into the world that we have. Try to make some light stories and just have some fun, like body fantasies, because a lot of people, I think they do have like body fantasies, like, oh, what would we like to have that and live vicariously through.
Everybody's got some minor form of body dysmorphia / things they want to change about themselves.
Yeah, or it could be experimental too. Like they might not have the dysphoria, but they could be asking questions like, "What it would be like if this?" And
if only I had a 6-pack, that kind of thing. Or if I
or what if I was a Futanari?
Bro, a 6-pack is so much work.
There's surgery for it nowadays.
There's also screen printed T-shirts for that nowadays too.
That don't work. Well, you got to take the shirt off at some point.
Who says you got to take the shirt off?
No, you don't. No, leave the shirt on.
No,
it's a permanent shirt.
Don't be like the fucking weebs at conventions who don't take showers. Don't do that. Take the shirt off.
Hey, you can wear it in the shower. Wash it with you.
No, that's not how that works.
It's literally wash and wear.
Oh.
Yeah, you're 3-1. We win.
Where the fuck's the alcohol?
I'm starting to think you should just show up with the alcohol instead of asking halfway through the episode.
Get one of the servers to bring it to you.
Yeah. That's what they're there for. So, with you're good. With your like posting and stuff and your through the growth of the internet, like, do you have a favorite platform that you love to post to? Like, are some of the more modern ones the best, or are there some that you miss, or like what did you enjoy most for kind of your community?
I've actually liked Tumblr the most before it got bought up by Yahoo.
Yeah.
Before the whole like Tumble apocalypse.
Was that what happened? Yahoo bought
them?
them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought they were like, oh, we're getting rid of all the porn one day, and that's it. I didn't know they got bought out.
Yeah, that was because of Yahoo.
Which,
you kill me with this.
Like, why would you do something that's going to destroy the platform you just bought? It doesn't make sense.
Because they didn't think it would. They didn't believe sex sells, and look what happened.
Anybody who knew Tumblr knew that Tumblr was for porn.
Well, you don't have to know the thing you bought. When you have a business acquisition, you don't actually have to know the business that you're buying up.
Very true.
You just buy it.
You just add that property to your portfolio.
That's true. The owners of Tumblr were probably like, "Yep, we made bank. Like, we're out now. It doesn't matter."
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
And good for them. Just sad for the community.
Very bad for the community. Yeah, right now it seems like my DeviantArt still does the most traffic.
Okay.
Even though like they have restrictions there too.
That website still exists. Oh, I forgot.
DeviantArt will be around forever.
Just sort of in the background, ever present, looming like a shadow.
That's where you come from, the cryptid in DeviantArt.
Yeah, DeviantArt cryptids reside there, fighting the AI generated art.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to ask you about that. What is your stance on AI art?
Generally, I don't think AI art, there's anything wrong with it. However, the system that we have, like the people that own the AI art will be able to take all the profits and basically devour the AI that, or they'll devour the artists that the AI relies on under a system.
That's an interesting look at it.
Like if AI was like open source and actually benefited the artists too, then it wouldn't be a bad thing. But right now it only benefits the people that own the AI. So like, yeah, AI, I think if people were generally taken care of, then AI wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But like right now we have like a situation where we have to like work our slave 9-to-5 jobs for like doing mundane stuff while the robots go out and do the art and music for us. And it's like, that's fucking backwards. Should be the other way around.
Right. It's like if they had actual sentience, then it would be like, sure, you know, like if you want to create art and stuff, like do it. But like, yeah, this is not actual artificial intelligence.
The AI is definitely a misnomer. There's no intelligence behind it.
And I know it's a hard thing for the artists right now too, because yeah, like a lot of their art gets included without permission. And so a lot of these companies come up and just be like, hey, $5 to get access to this. And all these people give them that money. And like, even if they shut down in like a week or two after they opened, they've had so much money come in that they don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like DeviantArt has like a AI generation program too. So if you're supporting DeviantArt, the money doesn't go to the artists that who actually build the platform they're on. Like they have the platform, but it's the artists that actually make the content and make people actually want to visit the site.
What do you think about quote unquote AI artists?
I let them have their fun. There's not really anything you can do to stop them. I mean, yeah, just let them have their fun. I'm not going to go out of my way to chide them.
Yeah, man, I get the feeling if we ever get an AI artist on here, you're going to have some words.
You mean when? No. You mean when?
Yes.
It's going to happen.
Well, no, that's why that last guest that like you wanted to bring on, when we realized he wasn't an actual AI artist, just some random person that supports AI artists, I was like, no, like I'm already going to tear AI artists apart. Like this guy is one step below that. Like I'm not going to have a good time on there, and neither is he.
Okay.
No, it'd be fine.
To be fair, AI artists are just as shy and quiet as regular artists.
And
yeah, because they didn't want to get bullied off the platform.
And it is one of those things where it's just like, yeah, if you end up doing it, whatever. But it's when they're trying to then like take this AI art and sell it and like make profits off of it. And it's like, no, this is like you were saying earlier, Robo, like this is other people's work that has been appropriated for these systems. So they're not actually creating anything. They put in phrases and they're then trying to sell something that they didn't actually do anything to make.
Yeah, they should definitely be taken care of too. But yeah, the artists definitely get screwed over under our current system.
Yeah,
a lot less effort to do the AI generation on the end user.
Yeah, because like I even have more respect for people that like, do a prompt and then still go and do work on it. Like, that's at least doing something.
I feel like that's how it should be. It should be a tool to help you improve. but that's me. Not everyone thinks like that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential for that.
And that is the hard place, is it's like it could be a good tool, but it could also be used to replace actual artists and people that do this for a living. And there's no doubt that corporations who try to save every penny they can will use it as much as they can. Like, why pay an artist like $400 for some concept art when you can just be like, oh, we bought this program for like $20 and it's going to pump out anything we need.
See, my only problem with that is that's not how that works. It's just it's not gonna make what you want, and then your actual artist is gonna be like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Why does it have 7 fingers and 8 toes and 4 eyes?"
You still need the artist to come in there and touch that shit up.
That's the hope.
Yeah. However, in order for AI to work, we need luxury gay space communism. Fully automated luxury gay space communism. But until everybody's taken care of, then it's just going to consume the artists that it depends on.
Yep.
If only.
That's also like what I kind of want to do in my erotic art too. Is I kind of want a world build. You see how art inspires people. Like Star Trek, everyone was watching that show and optimistic about the future and trying to invent stuff they see on the show. So, art kind of has that power too.
Yeah, that's a positive way of looking at it.
That's kind of a direction been wanting to take my my personal comics and all that. Start building a beautiful world for people to come into and
to lose themselves into.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of escapism, a little bit of hope.
That seems like a good thing.
Yeah, I want to depict erotic scenes that are, positive. And
you mean you don't want to draw scenes of modern day life where some people are suffering and miserable?
I prefer to avoid that in erotic stories.
Yeah, that would fall under pretty specific kinks.
I was going to say, yeah, you're talking to a certain crowd there.
Yeah, that's not my personal fascination at the moment, though. So.
All right, I tried.
There's a lot of other artists that can do that. Because it's just nice to get a big fluffy hug.
Yeah.
Imagine giant pillowy lips and getting kissed by them. And what would that look like, sir?
Well, in your case, it could be either set of lips.
Puce, you gotta...
Giant vulva kiss.
Yeah, giant vulva kiss. Puce, you gotta fill this dead air. You're the host.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Robo, does anybody in your personal life know about this side of your life?
Generally, they don't really know the depth of it or any of that. They know that I do things, but they don't know any specifics.
You do things online for money.
Yeah.
If I was told that, I'd automatically think somebody's got an OnlyFans.
Hi. There's so many other things you can do online than just OnlyFans.
If you're being vague about it and you just say you do work online for money, that feels too vague, and I would assume the worst.
That's
The
what I do when
worst?
people ask me about this.
Hold up. The worst?
Well, societally, socially seen as the worst. When people are embarrassed to admit what they do.
Yeah, and some people are still really innocent, so they've OnlyFans doesn't even register in their minds because they don't even know what that is.
They need to be corrupted.
They're like,
Absolutely.
Oh, you're just working from home. Okay.
Yep, totally.
I mean, it's true. Do you make enough for this to be your main job, or is this your side hustle, Robo?
It's been mostly a side hustle, as it were. However, I think I'd rather break free of that and make it a lot more sustainable.
We do too.
I believe in you. One day.
Someday over the rainbow.
One day everybody will realize the beauty of expansion art and buy all of your comics.
Yeah, because usually it's always just been, the whole gig economy that we're getting used to.
I fucking hate it so much.
Yeah, every time I get into trouble, like, it seems like my art always saves me. So I feel like if I'm able to just get more art out and devote all my time to it, then it would probably be like an actual good career.
Well, and that's the shitty thing about like the world we live in is, like you have to live paycheck to paycheck, or like sometimes you make a little more, but usually it's one of those things where it's like if you were to abandon your day job to try to take and make something you love doing into a career, or even just doing it full time because that's what you love doing, like you can't, because then you have to worry about like, where am I going to live? How am I going to get food? Like, we live in this society where these basic needs are bills. It's like we shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to be people and just be creative, do the things we want to do. And it sucks that we aren't, because there's so much creativity and art and beauty and everything out there that would happen if we just didn't have to worry about these basic needs.
Absolutely. Well, see, the thing is, too, we used to have infrastructure like that. We had more art grants, we had affordable housing, we had more social safety nets, but they've been eroded away in the last 40 years. So we've basically transformed human rights and turned them all into debts. And that's the world that we live in at the moment. Like, it wasn't actually always like this.
Fucking boomers.
Also,
yeah.
Also for the 8 foreign people listening, this is mostly American problems. Y'all got other problems to handle. Like the people in, I think we got some Australians. Yeah, this isn't really a thing for them. So.
Oh man,
yeah.
Could you imagine if there were Ukrainians or Russians listening to this podcast right now?
Right.
Why is that the first place your brain went to?
Because that's what there's people who've got those problems.
Well, see, and that's kind of a weird thing, is I was actually talking to one of my partners, and she lives in Indonesia, and we were kind of talking about the differences between, like, first world problems and third world problems. And, like, obviously, because it's not as dire of a situation, like, usually there are still ways to get food, even though it does require a lot of times having jobs or whatever. Like, we usually have a lot of those needs that are more accessible than they do. So, like, our government and different people basically create new things to turn into issues. And
yeah.
So it's this weird place where it's like we are still dealing with some of those things, where we have like children starving every day. We have homeless people who don't have roofs over their head. Like, we still have a lot of the third world problems, but these people who are in power like to kind of try to ignore that. And so then we also are dealing with all these other problems that like they've made up. And it's this weird place that like society is not thriving in.
Also,
back to 1920s, like roaring, the roaring 20s era with high income inequality and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The country's been through it before. And I think a lot of the same things that got us out of that will still work.
Yeah, I definitely think that, like, either this country's going to come crashing down, or we're going to have another, basically, like, renaissance. And at least now we don't have to worry about Russia coming in to try to take us over.
Yeah.
It just frustrates me so much because, like, my art is usually music. And so it just knowing that there are so many people out there that have all these different passions that want to create that can't, because they have to worry so much about getting their food or their basic necessities met, that like we're just missing so much, and it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential that's just being squandered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and there's no price on cultural stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so many things are going to be lost just because capitalism.
Can only extract so much, but
yeah,
you'd also give.
Yep.
Hey, the money is doing fine.
Is
Who cares
it though?
about the people? Oh, allegedly it's doing fine. It's like the strongest economy ever in history, and the world's wealthiest nation in history.
That's what they tell us.
Yep, sure.
So the money's doing fine, but people don't matter.
All right, so enough capitalism and the world being a fantastically wonderful place to live, clearly. Let's get back to our escapism into erotica and all things sexual. So when you're writing up your stories or making your characters, Robo, what's your process?
So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of just like research into like film criticism and just like story construction. So that's kind of a good template to start with. Like right now, I like introducing a small problem. It doesn't have to be like a world-ending problem. It doesn't have to be like, you got to save the universe from something. It's like, oh, now my boobs are too big to move. Where do I go from here? That's, and then you see where it goes from there. And sometimes I have a scene in mind, and then I just try to build a story around that scene. And that's actually where the secret comics come in too. Is it's just a form of play. That's also something we don't really have nowadays. Just playing, because that's where the mind actually gets stronger.
Yeah. So
you just kind of play with these concepts and ideas. A while ago, I tried to do a community comic where people, I would stream the comic, and there would be no plans for it. People would just jump into the stream and, like, as I'm streaming it, and just like throw out some ideas, and then we just try to build a comic out of it. So it's a comic with like a giant like pregnant tentacle robot like battling some like random heroes, and there's no backstory, and they're just like cyberpunked out, and they encounter a whole bunch of like cyber goo that whenever it gets on them, it seeps into their cyber implants and makes those implants like giant. So it's just a form of like community play. Like nobody really gets to write a comic, so I thought it'd be a fun idea to involve like everybody into that. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's my kind of process. It's a bit messy, but then like out of like the chaos can like come a structured story. So that's where my long form comics come out of, is through like after the play you can see like, hey, that worked, and then just kind of pull those into a more structured story.
That's awesome, honestly. And I can imagine it would be a lot of fun. Like I think that's why things like Twitch and stuff do so well, is because it is like people actually interacting with each other and doing stuff together a lot of times.
Yeah, that's I think just hanging out and just being able to do that kind of stuff is the best. Like Picardo allows the adult stuff, so you don't get banned from Twitch.
Right.
It's a specifically art streaming site that also allows adult stuff.
I have a question about that. Is it solely just 2D drawings, or can it be stuff in Blender and 3D Max, or how? I've never really used Picardo, whatever you said that word.
Oh, Picardo, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be anything. 3D artists are a little bit more rare, but they do exist there.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of writers that stream there too.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be 2D art. It's art specific, but art is anything. It used to be they banned you for like streaming video games, but they don't do that anymore. You just have to like tag your channel to be video game streaming.
We might have to look into that, you two.
if we decide to live broadcast our recordings?
No, we are never doing that. Literally, between you and me, we have said things I have to edit out, so we will never do a live stream like that. No.
You don't want to be doxxed?
I'm finna move, so I don't care.
But that's half the fun, is being doxxed and being
Half
threatened for your life and stuff.
How is that fun?
See, this is why we can't do a live recording with him.
Just saying, it would make life more interesting. Maybe people send me free pizza. Lots of it.
Having your life threatened is the spice of life.
It's like, I'm a trans woman. Enough people already want me dead. I don't need to add more.
Right? Like,
you don't need that shit.
Yeah, if it wasn't clear, Robo, I'm the only one who has like zero, like
social skills.
Well, yeah, that too. But I was gonna say minority statuses. We got all,
which is bad because you're half Mexican.
I'm not even half Mexican. Why do you're gonna turn me full Mexican by the time this podcast ever ends?
Every time it's just a little more. Next time you're 5/8 Mexican.
Yeah.
I can already feel my skin getting more melanin. Thank you, Alt.
You're fucking welcome. You need to learn how to eat spicy food.
I eat spicy food all the time.
No, you don't.
True, but that's because I like flavor besides spice.
So, Robo, do you mainly stick with 2D art, or have you ventured into any other types?
I've done 3D art. I've been actually trying to learn Blender.
Okay.
Because it used to be, I did 3D Studio Max, but it's been a while since I've done that. Like I did like facial animations for characters and video games and shit. But,
okay.
That's pretty
Dude,
cool.
3D is so fucking hard.
So, it's weird.
It is. Like, I can barely think in a 2D space, let alone a 3D space. And it's like, no thank you. This isn't for me.
Yeah, being able to draw really helps in the 3D space, though.
So when you picture the apple in your mind, you don't picture a 3D apple?
No.
Okay. Robo, can you picture the
Just
apple in your
picture the
mind?
soul of the apple. Depends on the apple, yes. Actually, there are people that don't see images in their mind. I think that's called aphantasia.
Yeah, I think that's the right word. I always think that's crazy because I've always been able to at least see things depending on like how much time I spend on thinking about it. And when somebody's like, "Oh, I don't even see it," I'm like, "How's that possible?"
I have something that's like a very slight aphantasia with faces, where it's just like I can't.
I think that's a form of face blindness.
Kind of, yeah. Like I've never been able to quite figure out exactly where it lies, but yeah, it's that weird thing where it's like I can have my best friend that we've been best friends for over a decade, and if I try to think about her face, it's like, nope, can't picture it. It's weird.
Yeah, everyone's just wired differently.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've got an excuse for not remembering people, Minka. I feel bad for you.
Well, and then, like, obviously there's all types of neurodivergent brains, but one of the things that I've heard is that actually a lot of the people who are dyslexic neurodivergent, they tend to be able to think very well in 3D planes. Like,
that's what I hear too.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You said some. I'm not a part of that.
Are you dyslexic?
Heavily.
Damn,
Yeah.
It's got problems and he doesn't even have any of the pros.
Nothing but problems.
Yup. Fucking
I
left-handed.
got 99 problems and then another one.
Fucking left-handed. Can't understand people. It's fucking great. I love it here.
Do you have a favorite way, kind of like, of how the growth happens? Like, do you have a favorite implement, like whether it's, a magic or an injection or stuff like that? Do you have a favorite?
I don't really have a like favorite method. It also just depends on the story I want to tell too. Mm-hmm. But generally, I like having a mystery around it.
Okay.
Like this inexplicably happens. Like I have a lot of stories where it's more like characters reacting.
Okay, so it's for you. It's not about what caused it. It's the thing happening itself.
Yeah, it's the process of it happening.
I was gonna ask if it was the process or the like end goal for you.
It's usually not the end goal. It's always just like the process and the experience of living through it.
Which, Puce, I know you've said that that's the part you like too.
Yeah, I feel like the more people we talk to on here about that, the more people I find who like the process, and I thought I was in the minority.
I think it would make sense because like there are going to be people out there that love these like way oversized body parts, just as being oversized body parts. But I think there are going to be a lot of people, more people that are into the actual process of it happening, because it's like that is kind of the sexualization that's happening, is how they get there. But I mean, everybody's into different things, so obviously like some people are about process, some people are about the end, but yeah, it is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's also like for me, it's when I make these characters, I also like imagine like how that would feel too. So
that is a fun part.
So like it's not just generally the visual the visuals that appeal to me. It's like how that would feel as well. So a lot of my comics, I have a lot of touch involved and
okay.
Try to get like a little bit of that tactile feel and.
So you listed a few different types of expansion. You listed breast, butt, lips, penis, vulva. What's your favorite?
That'd probably be like a lot of cock and boobs, actually. Probably my two favorites, if I were to pick two. But I like a lot of them.
They all definitely have their appeal, but I'm definitely a breast expansion guy myself, which I think is where I ended up finding your stuff, on some breast expansion forum somewhere.
Yeah, boob grow is definitely top tier for me, S tier for me.
Good to hear. I'm glad I can bring even more artists on here who talk about breast expansion. I know the other two love when I do this.
Yeah, I don't actually have a size limit on that either. It's just all about like how to translate that onto the page.
See,
okay.
That's where I'm in the minority. I definitely do have a limit. Lap size is usually about the biggest I like.
Mm-hmm. Conversely, I also like the shrinking aspects too.
I've never been into that myself, but I understand why people like it, I think.
Can you
explain? It's just the size change kind of thing.
Oh, it's just the size change. Okay, that makes sense.
And just like, what it means to people. I have some characters that if their boobs shrink, then it's the worst thing to happen in the world. And like with other characters, their boobs shrink, they're like, whatever, I'm still adorable. Whatever, I'm still hot. And she turns into a tentacle monster. She's like, whatever, I'm still hot.
God, I wish I had that fucking confidence.
Hot Cthulhu.
Hell yeah.
See, that's where you get Minka into it. Then she's excited.
Absolutely.
Extraterrestrial creature that can do untold things to Minka. You got her.
And 100%.
Cosmic eroticism.
Oh yeah, Lovecraftian horror sexual content.
Or flesh joins, but in a good way. Hey, that's also good. That's another like body warp kink that kind of like multiple things and like merging and all that kind of stuff. That's another kind of offshoot.
Yeah.
Like the body change fetish.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you do any sort of like cumflation or stomach inflation stuff?
I generally haven't really shown that, but yeah, I do.
Okay.
Like those have been really good. Like I have a whole giant file cabinet of just like secret comics that I haven't shown anybody.
Huh.
But yeah, I actually do like cumflation.
Yeah.
And then like have the cum like just transfer into other body parts and
Yeah, no, that's I love that. That's definitely
like,
my S tier body growth.
Because yeah, I've always done like male related art too, but you know, growing up in the 2000s and the 90s, like gay things are evil and you can't do that. So I still have like that as like a splinter in my mind that like prevents me from doing it. But I've been trying to just like show more of that kind of art.
Okay.
So I have like this like weird steampunk universe where it's like Victorian times, but everybody dresses like super slutty.
That sounds fun.
So the Victorian dresses, like, you know, they're mini skirt level, but still have that old style. Or like all the male characters have you know, like booty shorts and like midriffs showing and top hats. So like in that there's this one crew that, you know, they suffer the effects of cock expansion, and you know, they have like a shower scene where they have sex in the shower, and there's some cumflation going on in there.
Hell yeah.
And anytime they come, their bodies shrink. But if they come into somebody else, that person like gets taller. So there's like a lot of size difference. There's like little tiny coomers, and and you know, the bottoms are actually the ones that become the giants. And so yeah, that's something I'd like to be able to just show more of too.
Well, it sounds like you have at least one person who would look forward to that.
Yeah, no, I that sounds delightful. And Victorian era fashion and stuff is always so much fun too.
Oh, definitely. I think we should bring back some of the fashions.
Right? That's the other thing, is people need to just literally start dressing however they want. It's like you want to be in cosplay every day as just your normal wear, do it. You want to dress like you're from the medieval period, do it. Like, screw what society thinks.
Definitely. Yes, actually, there's a lot of advantages to old clothing too, because like they were designed with like human needs in mind. So despite like popular thought, it was actually easy to like use the bathroom in them. Like in those hoop skirts.
Well, it would have it would have to be, because of how long it takes to take them on or put them on and take them off.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's a lot of old innovations that are just like human in design. Got to go back to that.
If we're headed for a dystopia, let's at least make it a fun dystopia.
A fun dystopia where all our pajamas have butt flaps.
Exactly.
Now that's the life.
I got a onesie, but my onesie's got a butt flap.
Fantastic. Comfort before everything else.
So you mentioned doing a lot of stuff that you like to see, and it seems to inadvertently be what a lot of people like to see. Do you do commissions often?
I used to, but I've lost a lot of confidence. Like I did take commissions, but then my life really just fell apart, and so I wasn't able to like be dependable, and that was really crushing for me. So I just kind of just like decided not to take commissions anymore after that.
Well, that both sucks that you couldn't do that, but also good that you realize that people like to be kind of given what they want immediately.
Yeah, I'm unable to fulfill that demand. So
I'm sorry I brought that up, because that can suck to not be able to do stuff you like to do.
Maybe one day if I get confidence again. But
yeah, I really do hope for you that you get to a point where like you can make this what you do with your life. Because I think everybody deserves to be able to enjoy life. we get one life. It's short. We might as well do what we love and not work our bodies to the bone.
Yeah, definitely try to get the quality out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least you know our podcast likes your stuff. So that's something. That should help you a little, feel at least a little bit better, even though we're nobodies.
Oh, everybody's somebody.
Okay, so you do a lot of stuff on Deviant. You, like, obviously we can plug you again at, like, the end, but do you post a lot of stuff on Twitter? Have you kind of gone away from Twitter with the recent acquisition?
Yeah, I still post on Twitter, but I'm trying to find alternatives to it. Right now I'm probably maining on Itaku and DeviantArt. Although I gotta catch my Itaku up by a lot. But Itaku allows for more salacious content. I also have a personal website, which I'm very dumb when it comes to internet stuff, so it takes me forever to figure it out. So it's not as updated as it needs to be.
It's all right. That's still pretty cool. What is your website?
It's thinet.net /porn department.
All right.
So it's not really... Yeah, I generally like link to it from other sites.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, like even though like Twitter doesn't allow for external links anymore. I should link it on my Itaku more, because Itaku allows for that, because they have social media like elements built into it.
Oh, yeah.
DeviantArt doesn't allow me to link to my website because it contains adult stuff.
So
what?
So DeviantArt, I know, like they have the like a lot of things you have to be signed in to see if it's mature or whatever. But have they gone full, like, no sexual stuff at all?
That's part of their terms of service. You can't show penetration. You can't show erections. You can't show sex toys. And they're very sexist too. Like if you have like hyper male art, like hypercock, like not on a futa. Yeah, that stuff gets taken down pretty quickly. Like that's basically all the art that I always have taken down.
Huh.
Well, that's rather unfortunate.
Yeah,
I'd have like
weird.
a dude with a hyper bulge, and yeah, it would get taken down.
Interesting.
So now we know
what is keeping
DeviantArt.
them
like
afloat nowadays? Because like
advertisers.
It sounds like they're about to go the way of Tumblr.
They've actually been like that for a while. Like they've always been just weird. Like they do allow a lot of stuff that most other sites don't allow, but you know, it's just weird and arbitrary how rules get enforced.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you have a lot of stuff that, like, technically they could go after, like, most of it, but they're picking and choosing. That is fascinating.
I've also gotten stuff taken down, like, when I censor it. Like, there's this particular, like, giantess one that I have where they're, like, in a bedroom, like, just filling up the whole thing, and I censored it by, like, putting some things, like, over the vaginas and that kind of stuff, and that was taken down. So the lesson is, don't censor it. Just show the full nude. Yeah, don't just show the full nude, and you're good.
That's so weird.
Man.
It is.
Man.
So full nudity, fuda cock growth is okay. Male cock growth, not okay.
Yeah.
Females
Not
naked,
okay, yes.
totally okay.
Males naked, subjective, but you might be in danger. As long as they can't interpret it as an erection, which they will. If it looks like a sex toy, then yeah, that gets taken down.
Okay, but anything can be a dildo if you're brave enough.
Yup, you goddamn right, Minka.
That is very selective, and that's so confusing of a service to have to, like, walk around those landmines.
Yeah, so it seems like Otaku is... I think that's a good platform. It's relatively new and relatively unknown.
I've been hearing good
It's
things.
it's a little bit weird to navigate because it like the site kind of drives like a truck, but as soon as you figure out the controls, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. This is pretty logical.
Okay.
As I learned today, logical does not mean good. Learned that the hard way today.
I guess I can find the logic in how this works. Is probably a better way to word it.
There's some sort of logic.
How'd you find out logical is bad today?
There was a Pokemon TCG tournament. I beat 2 people, but got steamrolled by an 11-year-old kid.
Oh, not a 10-year-old?
Nope.
So not Ash Ketchum?
Nope.
Hey, he
It's
won
that
his
extra
thing.
odd number that makes it worse.
I mean, it just his deck is geared to do one specific thing, and my deck doesn't have an answer. So I was like, well,
It's like
okay.
hard countered.
So logically,
Just a hard counter,
yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't logic your way out of a hard counter.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's how I won the first 2 games. Fucking Mew VMAX, get out of here. Old news.
Just back to the site stuff though, like that is always the scare because like, you know, it was the same thing with OnlyFans where they were going to, and it's a lot of times these sites have to because like if they want to get the backing from the banks are the ones that are like, nope, you can't have any of this. And so unless that ever changes, you are going to have a lot of sites that are like, this is the only way we can continue to grow. And so we're kind of like forced to do it. But, you know, it is good to see that there are sites like OnlyFans who are like, okay, we'll see if we can figure something else out. So hopefully more start to go that way and just be like, do you know what? Fuck you, banks. Like, we're going to do this on our own or figure out another way to do it.
Yeah, you have to survive though. So.
Right? That's the hard part.
Like, yeah, we basically are forced to figure out another way. So the innovation is going to come. Yeah, it was also why like Patreon was changed too, because PayPal didn't like a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
So like Patreon had to change a lot of. Yeah, well, actually, Patreon for several years like had the flavor of the month ban. Like there'd be some like new right wing outrage where like things were bad.
Oh, and so it would get like everything that suddenly had to do with that would get like targeted and taken down.
Yeah, I think it's like expansion comics and like size change comics were targeted for a month. I remember.
Jeez,
I forgot what the reason was. It was just like completely batshit insane. You know, it's like there's this one Australian law that that banned like flat-chested women in porn because it could be child porn. It was kind of the same logic. It's like what? Like it's kind of the same thing with like the expansion art is like just completely what the fuck.
yeah, it's like I think I can see what you were going for there, but like you really missed the target.
You completely missed. Yeah. I can see what you're doing there, but that's insane.
If any of our
No
few
comment.
listeners in Australia are flat-chested women that want to do porn, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that law is still in effect, but it was like that was an oddity I heard several years ago. So.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Or if it was like proposed and never actually passed, or if it was passed. I don't know if it's still in effect.
Hey, I'm reading JoJo's now.
I thought
Why
nerds
are
were the
you
ones that
reading
played
it? Wait.
games.
Why are you reading JoJo?
Because I've got Shonen, so I might as well.
But you could just watch JoJo and it'd go by faster.
Yeah, but if I read it, I can get farther than the anime.
There's more context in the reading it.
Exactly.
Is there though in JoJo? Is there
Yeah,
more
I was gonna
context?
say, I don't know.
Yeah, there's plenty of context. Just a lot more buff people.
More fabulous poses.
Well, and more things that everything else references because everything's a JoJo reference.
Everything is a JoJo reference.
Exactly.
Which in itself is like a musical name recognition reference.
Fucking JoJo fans.
Hey, I'm also a One Piece fan, so.
Man, it's like you were literally the worst type of anime like person ever.
Robo, do you like JoJo's and or One Piece?
I actually don't really like One Piece that much. I watched it like just to see what all the fuss was. Like I got to like season 5. And haven't really watched it since.
Nothing's happened by season 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are all crazy people. I need to find somebody who likes One Piece and bring them on the show and teach all of you how good One Piece is.
I can see the appeal of One Piece. There's a lot of fun stuff in it.
Right? Never said it was bad. It's just
it's not my thing, but like I don't find it to be like offensive.
You just said nothing happens. That almost means it's bad.
Nothing's happened yet by season 5.
No, if you say nothing happens and you think that means it's bad, then you would be saying that Dragon Ball Z is bad.
Sometimes I don't know,
what? No.
Anytime that somebody's doing their Super Bowl, nothing happens for like 5 episodes.
Those are not the same thing. Those aren't even remotely the same thing.
What were you going to say, Robo?
Actually, I've been realizing a lot of my favorite stories are just like things where nothing happens. You know,
I too like slice of life anime.
Yeah, I've been really loving the Last Unicorn. It's kind of a nothing story where they just like this unicorn's like, I'm the last one. I gotta find the rest of them, and she goes out. They just like follows the road and just like stuff.
I can feel my
happens, but
body.
Like nothing really happens.
Yeah, I can feel my body dying all around me.
Yeah, but then it turns out it's extremely deep under the surface. Like nothing happens on the surface, but like it's talking about immortality and like the different types of immortality that there is.
Yeah, no, I love the Last
like
Unicorn.
Mommy Fortuna. Yeah.
Wait, we have to go back to
my
One Piece.
Immortality.
I looked up what season 5 was in One Piece because I didn't know what the heck that was. You made it all the way past the Alabasta arc, and you still say nothing happened?
Yeah.
I don't like you people.
Like, for me, One Piece doesn't kick off until they pick up Robin again.
Oh my god. I don't
Robo,
like any of you people. I'm sorry.
Robo, do you ever do drawings of like different characters and stuff, or is it usually your own characters that you've seen in your dreams and stuff?
Yeah, I've done other characters as well. Lately I've just been focusing on my own characters and like having them do cosplays, which I kind of want to do more.
Okay. I would imagine that's probably more fun for you. Because then you're expanding their stories and stuff.
Yeah, I do like a lot of other people's like properties, but there's plenty of other artists that'll do the One Piece fan art, and I can enjoy that.
I feel like
so
in recent
concentrate on my own
internet
stuff.
history, OCs have become like the big thing. A lot more people want to see people's OCs versus like people drawing already like made characters.
Oh, definitely. I really like that trend too.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good. I just like it's crazy to like think back like 10, 15 years ago when like everybody was drawing like all the popular characters, and then you come to today and everybody's like, you're drawing Naruto characters? That's so boring. Alright. This seems like a good point to have a last call. Robo, obviously this is your first time in our lounge. When we call for last call, it's just final questions, statements, whatever. So, Minka, any last questions for Robo?
When you gonna reopen commissions?
When I grow up.
Damn. That was a good answer.
No, it's really that. Yeah, I really need to fix my damaged self, and then when I'm more confident to open commissions, I can do that.
One piece at a time.
Although I have done a One Piece commission. The Princess of Alabastia. What's her name?
Vivi.
Vivi?
Vivi, yeah, Vivi.
Vivi Nefertari.
Yeah. Fucking nerd.
I don't even know how that just popped in my head.
I was going to say, how did you remember that name, Buse?
Don't ask me.
Fucking nerd.
That unlocked a door for like a microsecond to let a name slip through.
I can't think of any other questions at the moment. So I think I'm good for last call.
Robo, feel free to shout yourself out now. Where can the lovely audience find you?
They can mostly find me on DeviantArt, RoboGogoRobo on DeviantArt, or Twitter, or Itaku. I also have a Patreon, RoboGogoRobo Patreon, and Subscribe Star Adult. And I just got to do like more links to my personal site, which is thinet.net/porn department, but that's hard to remember, so the other sites are a little bit easier.
Well, we will make sure to plug any links you like into the
Descriptions.
I was going to say bio, but that's not what that is. But I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Please don't let this door slam on your way out. And I hope you all, like I said, have a good night. Bye.
You are forgetting something.
What I forget?
Where can you find us?
I forgot our plugs, right. You can find us at the Lusty Lounge on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, eventually. YouTube, maybe. But you can also join our Discord at the Lusty Lounge as well to discuss and enjoy all things sexual and erotic with the rest of us. Now can I say bye?
Bye.
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 Have a good night, everyone.